Negativity. I'm sure we've all heard of it. But what does it mean? We've generally heard of it being described in a negative context, but what exactly does it mean? The Oxford Dictionary defines the word negative as being something that's bad or harmful. And in that sense, yeah, a lot of things can indeed be negative, ranging from my lackadaisical approach towards exams to my not so amazing social skills. I'd say a lot of my own attributes are most certainly negative. Though one thing that often goes unnoticed is that negative can actually be subjective. What I'm trying to say by that is that attributes that are perceived by some as harmful may be perceived by others as advantageous. And that's precisely the crux of my argument. In my eternal lifespan of approximately 16 years, I've come to realize that a lot of these conventional negative emotions are actually boons in disguise. Take, for instance, the traditional take of envy. Envy is defined as being a discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Now, if I were to ask everyone in this audience what they'd classify envy as being negative or positive, I'm fairly certain most of you would go for the former. Envy's evil, it's bad, it's harmful. Though one thing that people fail to take into consideration, envy can actually be advantageous and can positively influence someone's life. Aristotle once said, "It's easy to become angry, though to become angry for the right purpose and in the right way and to the right person and at the right time, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy." Accessing that power is something that can truly change you. Take, for instance, my example. All my life, I've never really held the privilege of being able to say I'm first at something. I've never really held the privilege of being able to call myself the best. I've essentially been the average 16-year-old. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, when I was in grade 9, I recall scoring a 40 in my advanced mathematics exam, while a friend of mine managed to procure a 90. 40 compared to 90. That's a massive difference. And evidently, I was incredibly envious. It was what you could say my breaking point. I was incredibly envious, and rightfully so. Why wasn't I able to get to where he effortlessly already was? Why was he winning at not only this, but also every other competition we've partaken in? Why was he just better? Better at every single thing. It's that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of desperation, and that feeling of powerlessness that fueled me to become better. To be able to do something every single day, even though I initially completely despised it, most certainly necessitated strong willpower. Strong willpower that was only accessible through this conventional negative emotion of envy. My perspective wasn't just, oh, I'm sure I'll do better next time. I mean, as long as I've improved from my previous attempt, I'm satisfied. But it was more along the lines of to feel worthless, to feel insignificant, to feel powerless. I can't go through that again. I cannot lose again. And believe it or not, this negative mindset, coupled with a desire to not lose, did actually yield good results. I managed to procure a 99 in my board examination. A 99. To me, who had been frequenting less than half those marks, that was incredible. I was ecstatic, and I was finally the winner. I was finally the one. I was finally the one receiving the applause. Perhaps more shockingly, though, I found out I actually genuinely liked math. I actually discovered a fascination for it. So, not only did this conventional negative mindset of mine enable me to become a better individual, it's also enabled me to find my true passion. But there's so much more that this negativity is able to achieve. Let's take another example, anger. The discharge of anger can be calming, it can be energizing, it can increase emotional intelligence. As a matter of fact, research conducted by the National Library of Medicine also suggests that anger plays a key evolutionary role in survival in general. Much like coal to a steam engine, it's anger that fuels a person. To be able to manipulate when to let it out and to moderate its intensity is what grants you true control over the path your life is on. So the next time someone tells you to maintain a positive outlook on life, perhaps reconsider. Ironically, negativity itself is potentially the most potent weapon in your arsenal. Thank you.